Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Racha Kudash. Double honors unto the elders, apostles, a great millstone. The elders, a great millstone, and of course, peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, serving him in truth and sincerity. Yeah, so we're coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Hey, this is going to be based off of this article, of course, from nationalnews.com. Which to get straight right into it says, constitutionally speaking, Texas is legally allowed to wage war against the federal government to protect itself from imminent open border invasions. And I did a lesson literally not too long ago about this upcoming civil war that's about to happen within America, which is spiritually known as Babylon the Great. That's spoken about Revelation chapter and the book of Revelation. Babylon the Great is America, and it's prophesied that there will be a civil war. So to read real quick, and we'll pull out a few scriptures. It says, in a move that shocked many, the typically conservative-leaning Supreme Court has sided with the Biden regime in allowing federal agents to dismantle razor wire that Texas put up along a stretch of the U.S.-Mexico border near Eagle Pass. Republican Governor Greg Abbott had ordered the razor wire to be installed along the banks of the Rio Grande to help deter illegal migrants from charging through unabated. The highest court in the land, however, says the wire needs to go because it is interfering with Border Patrol's ability to reach migrants as they attempt to cross the river. A pending lawsuit seeks to challenge this ruling, but for the time being, Texas will have to abide by federal immigration law, no matter how poorly the state feels that D.C. is handling the matter. In a tight 4-4 vote, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Amy Coney Barrett sided with the Supreme Court's 3 liberal justices in supporting Biden regime's position that Texas must concede to the feds on this matter and let Border Patrol handle the migrant crisis in its own way. It says its own way. This is not over. Governor Abbott tweeted on X, formerly Twitter, Texas razor wire is an effective deterrent to the illegal crossings Biden encourages. I will continue to defend Texas's constitutional authority to secure the border and prevent the Biden admin from destroying our property. Yeah, so what does this show, man? There's conflicts within the United States. What's the states against the Fed? So without a doubt, man, the Lord, which the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahushai. What? The Lord himself, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem meaning in the name. Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, he's completely setting up these tensions. Because within the scriptures, a war against one people, or again, literally there's a civil war prophesied within the scriptures. To give real quick, Isaiah chapter 19:2, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight, every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Exactly. And we know how America, Babylon the Great, is known spiritually as Sodom and Egypt within Revelation chapter 11 and 8. This place is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt because, again, how it is. America is a place of hard bondage, and you're completely bound to the system to the point where it's hard to do things on your own. This place is heavily related to Sodom, because we already know Sodom was into sodomy and basically, into that alternative lifestyle, that ABC lifestyle. that alphabet lifestyle, you know what I'm referring to. Sodom was real heavy in that. And what Babylon the Great, or America, has implemented all those ways within its own society, with Babylon and Egypt and Sodom. You find basically, all of those spirits, the spirit of those places within this place, America. So it goes on to say, Article 1, going back to the article, it says Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution allows states to engage in war if in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. Concerning the pending lawsuit, the argument being made contends that Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the United States Constitution supports Governor Abbott's position that Texas has a right to defend itself against the ongoing border invasion. It says no state shall, without this consent of Congress, engage in war unless actually invaded or in such imminent danger will not admit of delay, the clause reads. Yeah, so we already know what Biden, he's opening up these borders, so these immigrants could come in. A lot of them are from Venezuela or Colombia, which those are Israelites. But you have a lot of Edomites, and even a lot of our own people. They don't want it. They don't want these guys to come in, because a lot of these guys, it was this one test on TikTok. This one Issacharite, or so-called Mexican, asked basically a newly, someone who basically a family who came here, newly just came here, immigrants, and he asked them, they're basically asking him for money, and then he asked them if they want to work. He has work, he has a whole construction project going, and they completely denied it. So, and that goes to show you, man, a lot of these people don't want these immigrants to come in. It says, as each state, it says the clause is further backed by a statement made by late James Madison in a speech at the Virginia Ratifying Convention on June 16, 1788. As each state will expect to be attacked and wish to guard against it, each will retain its own militia for its own defense. In essence, the argument contends that Texas is both being invaded and is in imminent danger if nothing is done about it. If the courts end up agreeing, things could change as Texas asserts its constitutional authority to protect its own borders, even if D.C. disagrees. So, again, the Lord said, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So what does this mean? This is the Lord's doing. Texas, the state of Texas, coming up against the Fed. And you also have even these other states, they have their own National Guard and their own militia, right? So, and some of these states are with Texas. Going to Mark chapter 3 and 23, or let's go to 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. Yeah, so if a kingdom be divided against itself, by the way, this is Yahushua speaking, the Messiah. It says right here, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. So if any kingdom, if any country is divided against itself, it's not going to stand, man. And we already know, again, the civil war will happen. The Lord will fulfill Isaiah chapter 19 and 2. And when you get real quick, 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah, so one people shall stand up and fight against another. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And do we not see that, man? What the Fed is telling you, basically the Supreme Court is ordering that these razor wires and these defenses get taken down from the border, so these immigrants can cross. But Texas is not with that. So you're gonna have states coming up against the kings, which is what the feds and the government, the federal government. You're gonna have many people because without a doubt you got a lot of people against that. Which Yahweh Shemiel Shah is gonna bring whatever. The Lord's gonna fulfill the civil war. Allow again, stir up the spirit within Babylon the Great, within this place, so that these prophecies can be fulfilled. So it goes on to say, it says, given the number of immigrants and their age and gender, young adult male, Governor Abbott and A.G. Paxson can make a very compelling argument that the conditions of invasion and imminent danger are clearly present along the southern border, writes Joel Wolverton. So it says, the first question then for applying this clause to the case of Texas and the crisis at the border with Mexico is Texas being invaded? If not, then the inquiry turns to, has the influx of undocumented adult males into Texas risen to the level that a reasonable person will consider the danger so imminent as to preclude any delay, such as that of recurring to Congress for help? In other words, even if it cannot be successfully argued that Texas is currently being invaded, as a term would have been understood and intended by the founders, it could still be argued that Texas is in imminent danger from an invasion, allowing it to override the feds on how to protect itself. Because, we understand that what the elite international bankers, which have control over America, they want their agenda to be fulfilled. And a lot of these things are happening. And as we keep on moving on, but the elites want to fulfill their agenda, which ultimately the NWO, you're going to have a lot of people, man, who come up against it. Even these proud Americans and, these Edomites with their guns and, you're going to have a lot of people who are against. I mean, even right now, you have a lot of people who are against what the elites are pushing. So, going back to Mark chapter 3 and 26, it says, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. And we know that the physical counterpart of Satan are the Edomites, which the Edomites today link up to the so-called white man. According to Genesis chapter 27, how Isaac gave Esau his blessing, which Esau received the dew of heaven, the fatness of the earth, and the power to rule over the earth with his sword. Esau currently is ruling over the earth with his sword, which the modern day sword represents the military, his missiles, whatever, weaponry you see today that's in use, that Esau's able to have power over the earth. And as well as Joel chapter 9:24, Joel chapter 9:24 says how the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So Lord gave the earth currently into the hands of Esau, and it says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And we already know, but Esau covered up the image of the Lord and his only begotten son. He put his own images, which is Jesus Christ, this image of, which goes back to Cesare Borgia and goes back to Strappus Christus, or Christus. which is what is a depiction of a so-called white man with, leopard skin and long hair, which the scriptures clearly describe the appearance of the Lord in Revelation chapter 1 and 14 through 15, Daniel chapter 7 and 9, and Daniel chapter 10 and 6. They give you the appearance of the Lord that he's a so-called black man. Skin as if brass burned in a furnace, hair white like wool. And Esau, also covered up the image of the prophets, which is the prophets look like, again, the Most High and the Son. The scriptures say how the Lord created us in His image. So what the Esau covered up the Israelite, the prophets, which are Israelites, and put his own images upon them. So without a doubt, and the scriptures describe how Esau is a man who loves blood. Without a doubt, man, that all links up to the so-called white man. He's a man that loves blood. That's why he came here to the Americas. He completely slaughtered the so-called Native Americans, Latinos. He completely slaughtered, or, he put in the slave ships the so-called Negroes. And ever since then, man, we were still catching hell in these days. So yeah, civil war is coming. That's the point. But the immigrants are coming, and hey, yeah, and also, you shouldn't be in that spirit like, these immigrants are coming. Hey, some of these immigrants can actually, which a lot of these immigrants are Israelites, so-called Mexicans, or so-called from South America or wherever, Central America. A lot of them are Israelites, and a lot of them, a lot of them could be a part of the elect. Well, they can hear this word, they can, repent, because you got a lot of Spanish-speaking brothers who are preaching to this gospel. So, really, you shouldn't be in that spirit of, basically in that spirit of hating your own people. Because that's how Esau feels about, the immigrants. But yeah, I believe that's the point. Lord, you better start to edify. Yahweh Bashim Yashab, Hashem Kakodash Bakathum. Shalom.